My wife went to the fabric store and she brought home some yellow leather. I was like, oh, wow. That's you brought home a vocal exercise. You know what actors say before they...
Red leather.
No red leather, huh?
No red leather.
You look nice today.
California King.
Do you have a sense of what she's planning to do with it?
With the yellow leather?
I mean, is it the kind of thing, sometimes I feel like there's a certain kind of performative shopping that people do.
Right,
and
right.
This is not bad. But sometimes, let's say somebody comes home with a lot of gluten-free, like pseudo-vegan stuff, and there's going to be trouble. She's crafty, right? She's a crafty person.
She's very crafty. She's very talented with her hands, which is great because my hands are good for online bill pay, and that's it. So, beyond that, I can barely, like, when it comes to like tying the garbage bag properly so that it closes off so the raccoons can't smell it from a distance, I have to hand it off to her to do it. I can't. My hands are really unskilled, and hers are very skilled. So she goes to the fabric store and gets a lot of stuff. And I think for her, the fabric store is like, I don't know what the ninja store used to be for you, Adam.
Yes, it did.
The guitar store used to be for me. I wouldn't buy a guitar every time, but I'd buy a pick. I'd buy some strings. I'd buy a pedal. So you go and it's sort of like you're topping off your interests rather than buying something that you particularly need. Yeah,
you're checking what's new. What's new at the fabric store? They get any?
You're staying engaged.
That's right. She's staying engaged. Exactly. My wife too. This doesn't frustrate me, but I am jealous of it. She is both kind and unpretentious. She's all these things. She's kind. She's unpretentious, and she's. If you look at me, your eyes just slip right past when you see my face. Like there's. It's my face is like a demographic rounding error. There's nothing there to latch onto. But my wife has, she's more distinctive looking, and so people remember her. So she's like a beloved customer at two of the big fabric stores in San Francisco. So she goes. It's like Norm going into Cheers when she goes into the fabric store. They drink a lot at the fabric store. So I think that's why she likes to go and pick up a I don't know what you call it, a patch, a
swatch,
a swatch. That's
maybe
it.
I don't know when it came from an animal.
When I go, I pick up a swarth.
When you get it.
One swath of yellow leather, please.
That algorithmic blend of faces that you mentioned before, Scott, this is a fact that I learned many years ago and never forgot. It's called an eigenface. This is something that machine learning uses to compare any face against the average of all faces. So what you're saying is that your face is an eigenface.
Of the three of us, we could certainly say that my face is... Come on.
Merlin and I just sort of jut off in different areas that distinguish us from the eigenface.
I agree with you, Scott. You're hard to see. But I think in different ways we all represent some kind of a cultural rounding error. But another thing is, there's this fascinating to me anyway, which is that the Disney properties, I don't know if it's officially called this, but they have a color of paint called, I think it's called No-See-Um green. And you can watch YouTube videos about this if you're the kind of person who does that. But basically, if it's a service door, if it's anything that Disney does not want you to notice, they paint it this same color of green.
Oh, okay.
That like you uncannily will not see as much as if it were a regular color. And I think that's kind of you, Scott. That's kind of you in some ways. You're like No-See-Um Scott.
No-See-Um
Which is
Scott.
nice, really. I mean, you could probably do like be involved in a heist or something.
Oh, sure.
And they just go, it looks like nothing to me.
I've always been very happy to be able to use any hotel bathroom in the world. I just walk in and people say, welcome back. It's so it's so simple for me.
It's also age. It's age. I'm in the year, I believe I'm entering I'm in the birth year where I'm officially in a demographic that no one cares about anymore. You always hear 18 to 54, 18 to 54. So like people will claim, and you know, and I'm let's be honest, I'm sundowning a little bit just in general, and I feel like through this next, I have a few months left to really work out my increasing lack of relevance. Haven't been relevant or sexy in a long time, but my increasing lack of relevance is something where I feel like, you know, it's a little bit Logan's Run or Ultraman, like where his light starts beeping. And I think I will become increasingly no-see-em. I don't think I'm a romantic threat to anyone.
That's where your attempts to remain relevant or sexy become more desperate and aggressive. So I'm wondering, Merlin, whether you've taken any steps, or not necessarily steps, but visited any websites that might allow you to regain some of what you feel you're losing.
Right. It's a good question. I'm really torn. I watched, sometimes I love YouTube, and I watched that thing where like, actor talks about all their important roles, and of course I watched the one with Bob Odenkirk, and he talked about this new movie he's in where he's like an action hero, and they show him doing chin-ups, and I'm like, it's very inspiring. I'm on the horns of a dilemma though, because I think once you decide to bootstrap new relevance, I mean, that's a lot of commitment. And to your point, Adam, I feel like sometimes people flood the zone by doing too many things. Maybe that's what I should be doing. Maybe I should be getting powders, some kind of, get into Chinese medicine. I could get a faster Segway.
I think what's instructive about Bob Odenkirk and his new role is that he's got a vehicle. Like, you need a vehicle. You need a role. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. That's the only reason he's doing it.
And it doesn't have to be a movie role. It can be, how often you'll read about a person who just sets off on a walk across the country. That's the same kind of thing. A surprising and intense action of some kind that you can take that undermines your obvious aging.
Yes. And hopefully the idea is you fool everybody into thinking that you're really different when really you're just really desperate. And let me ask you this: if I were to acquire some yellow leather and give it to your lady friend, could she make me some kind of an outfit that
like
would
a Bob Bissenbeck's outfit? What's that guy's name? The writer who only wear
Kurt Bacharach?
Bob Balaban.
Oh, wait.
Bob Balaban.
He only wore, what's the story with Bob Balaban?
Bissinger? No, it's like Bob Bissinger. He's a writer, or Henry, I forget his name, but he's a guy who, I think at roughly the age, some age between the three of us, at some point in that zone, he suddenly, radically, and life-alteringly became involved in wearing exclusively leather garments. So pants.
Oh, that would be challenging.
Buzz Bissinger? Was that his? I don't know. Yeah.
Buzz Bissinger. Okay, so I've written down affectation. It sounds like it would be nice for me to get something where I pretend I have a personality given something that I've just bought. And what like if you're the kind of guy who decides to ride a lawnmower across Georgia or something like that, what do you call that kind of a project where you like say, this is me now. I'm doing this thing. I'm going to, swim the English Channel. Or, that's not an affectation. That would be more like, what would you call that?
It's like a brand event, basically. I think it's like sort of experiential self-marketing.
Right. I like that. Or a branded pilgrimage. Tibetans, they walk across the plain, and every step they stand up, then they bow, then they take another step, and they go and they go and they go for months until they reach the stupa that they were intending to finally worship at. No one ever comes up to them and says, hey, we're Nike, let's brand this pilgrimage, or this whatever that's called in Spain, the one in the Catholic version of that.
So Nike could say, we'll help you get there faster. Let's pick it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like all the stooping, we have a solution for that. And that's this, this new these Air Jordans.
Well, it's one of the things about a pilgrimage is often they were instituted at a time when, nobody had heard of a Segway. They didn't know about, really, really decent arch support in a shoe. So they take way longer. There's one in Japan, it's called the Hachiju Hakasha, which is like the 88 temple course on on the island on Shikoku, which is the smaller island there, and the idea is you walk around all the 88 temples. I hitchhiked it. I got it done in 3 weeks. You know, what usually takes months. I got the Dharma or the juice for that, and I nailed it. I got my stamps, my shrine stamps in my little shrine passport, and you're welcome, Buddha.
Huh? They're like Disney pins. Like you leveled up.
Right. Like karmic Disney pins.
Karmic Disney pins. Okay. I'm open. I would like to think of myself as somebody who doesn't want to appear desperate, but I'm open, because right now it's fine. I can live with this, but who knows how much worse. And Scott, talk about hands. Jiminy Christmas. I mean, I'm doing this thing like my late mother-in-law used to do, where when she picks things up, she would have to like kind of make a claw and hold it in her knurled fingers, and then
right.
Like the sheriff in Young Frankenstein. Like I need help. I need the two hands. I don't have hand things anymore, and I think that makes me look old.
Right.
Because I got to hold things like this.
When you say you don't have hand things anymore, can you elaborate?
Yeah. I've lost so one way to think of a thumb. I feel like I'm not a scientician. I feel like one way to think of a thumb is it's a sort of a lever. Right,
okay.
I don't know if I'm doing this right, but part of the reason we get these, and they don't give them to primates as often, is like they say this, and like Beatles albums is what makes us different. I don't have that power anymore. So Scott, if I'm trying to open the takeout food, I go straight to the scissors, and even that hurts. I can't. Why do they tie the knots so tight? Let alone when I'm trying to read a manual for something. Jiminy Christmas. Maybe I should go all in. Am I the only one who worries about this?
Among all the other things that I'm experiencing happen to my body in my early 40s, do I have loss of use of my hands to look forward to as well?
I mean, eventually.
It's not something that I was aware of.
You lose everything.
Okay.
That's a very positive way to put it. There's a lot you're going to lose. Well, Adam, it's interesting. Let's catch up a little bit. What are you going through these days? What are you noticing? In terms of the raw deterioration that people really aren't comfortable saying to your face, are there things that you're becoming aware of? Do you have a secret shame? Is there something? No, crab claw.
My feet don't hurt. My feet hurt all the time now. So like flat feet kind of issues and plantar fasciitis. I know the medical names of the things
terrible.
that I have. Yeah. And rotator cuff tendonitis. I've got my body is rapidly deteriorating in kind of a fun way. Because it's always something to focus on. But I just it all kind of happened at once when I think we've talked about this when I turned 40, but now I'm comfortable seeing doctors about everything that I'm experiencing. But I just I don't want to, are there exercises or anything I can do to retain, is there a Sudoku for my hands that I can maybe just keep them primed so I don't decay as fast as you guys are?
Right. And is there an opportunity also as we are working on ourselves? Okay, hang on. I'm the leather man and I'm the brand ambassador for the name TBD. But it's a way of saying hey, we're going to be like one of those people on Dr. Oz where we go, I lost 38 pounds last month just eating walnut shells. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's kind of people are like, oh, that's amazing. Where do I get walnut shells? Well, you only want to get the good ones, get the organic ones. Is that the kind of thing where we work on ourselves, but then that becomes part of a brand extension, a brand mission, a brand event that we could share with others? Because people worry about this stuff. There are people who have a lot more dignity than us who are very worried about getting old. And I don't see any reason why we couldn't, take a few bucks off of them to help.
Of course, to help. And to the extent that we can merchandise the experience, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that except, ethically. But what I was thinking as you guys were speaking was, I've been reading this book about how the brain learns and how you can send a kid to tennis camp for, every summer from 1989 to 1992. This is just a notional child. This is not an actual kid. And, he may not be either demographically noticeable or any better at tennis by virtue of having gone to that tennis camp because he wasn't interested in tennis. To really get the brain to learn and to really get the brain engaged in, say, retaining hand skills, you have to provide an interest, an impetus for learning. Make it exciting to keep your thumb around for another month. You know what I'm saying? So
you need
it's
some
not
fish food. Like here's something you're already like. Let's be honest. You've lost a lot of movement and you're levering, but if you enjoy doing online bill pay, maybe that's a start.
Exactly.
And maybe
that's
we
a
have
start.
some beginning exercises. And the thing is, I see people doing I've told you about this ad hoc Tai Chi. I'm still dealing with that. I'm still dealing with people waving their arms around in the park, walking. They're still walking backwards. I keep trying to get a video and they leave. Ladies in the bucket hats. But we can introduce a whole bunch of not fake stretching exercises because you are stretching, but they've not been vetted even by Dr. Oz. But that kind of thing. And like when in the 70s you get those squeezy things for hand strength. I mean, maybe that's the kind of thing we could bring to people. But we start where you are. What is it that has you excited?
What do you like to? Yeah, exactly. I love and I find very satisfying online bill pay. So maybe
I love online bill pay.
Maybe we make it a little more fun.
I'm wondering, so people like meal kits, right? If I'm not mistaken, they like putting together, they like getting the ingredients, putting it together themselves.
Sure.
Feels like, gives them a sense of accomplishment. I wonder if there's something like an equivalent of a meal kit, but involving materials that are sent to you on a regular basis, maybe like a weekly basis. You get some yellow leather, a bolt of yellow leather in a box. You get some needles and multicolored thread. And then the challenge for that week is to make your own wardrobe, which will distinguish you, which will, if you're that 18 to 54 out of that window, it'll make people notice you because you've had to make your own outfit, which most likely will be embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, people would stick around walking backwards. They stick around to get their picture taken if the person taking their picture is wearing, a pair of yellow leather chaps.
Right. It gives you something to do with your hands, which is going to keep them nimble.
We don't want them to cancel. I mean, one thing is, of course, like many of these services, we would offer them a 20% discount if they agree to keep all the leather. Maybe we just send you different amounts of yellow leather every month, and then we give you not a pattern, because I mean, meal kits, it's like if you like dinner to be a puzzle, fine.
It's a little connect the dots,
what if week one is like a caftan, where all you need is the provided leather and a clip, a handsome clip, like a brooch. And then when you're ready to sit down and pay your bills, you got a wide area of movement. Maybe we have like a darts and a slit skirt kind of thing. That's very slenderizing. But you know what I'm saying? What do you love to do and how do you like to be dressed? Have some leather.
Have some leather. Here's some leather. And here's one of the great things about a business like that. It's a yellow leather based subscription business where you get a variable amount of a very specific and bright mustard tone leather every month. We don't necessarily know what our obviously rapidly expanding customer base would use it for. At some point, if we're the literal sole purveyors of that color of leather in the world, it can be used as a form of money. It's certainly not as fungible as a regular colored leather. It's going to be something that people notice. So, you can maybe pay for stuff with your remnants. I don't know.
Well, and it seems to me that, I don't know what kind of budget we have coming straight out of the leather box, but we need virality. What do? You get a photo of yourself in your new yellow leather gown, and then you put that on Instagram.
Yeah, that's right.
Hashtag squeaking. Hashtag bill pay lifestyle. I don't know how. I don't have Instagram, but isn't that the kind of thing where that would then become viral? And we'll get ads. We get ads on Instagram because we know that's the new Sky Mall. All the things you don't need, you can get that here. But you're saying it's a mystery you solve in some ways, like a J.J. Abrams box full of yellow leather, and then what you do with it. That's you. This is what you've made. This is your special thing. Have fun with it. Hack it. You're a maker now.
You're a maker now. Yeah.
I think that the materials, the ingredients, if you will, would always be the same. It'd always be yellow leather. The only difference from week to week that comes with the box is that the name of the outfit will be different. And that's what we can provide. That's the value we add. Right. And then we use that as a prompt for the maker to design their outfit, which they will have to wear by the terms of use as members of Yellow Leather. And I think you're going to get a lot of different interpretations of tropical mango or whatever the outfit is called, but it's
right.
They'll all probably be muumuus, to be honest, but that's okay.
At first,
nothing. Yeah.
I mean, and also depending on the amount of leather we send. I mean, maybe one time we send enough to keep a hippopotamus out of the rain, and then the next time we send enough for cover one testicle.
That's part of the fun. I wonder what's my leather, and then that arrives, and you only see enough for like let's be honest, a posing thong,
Not even a walking thong.
No, you're not going to move. In motion.
Yeah,
Pick a pose. Pick a pose.
Very smart, Adam. And what you said, embedded in what you said, was that each month, in addition to the leather and the word that they'll receive,
Yes.
I don't know what we call them, our leatherettes, our community, will receive an extremely long and small printed end user license agreement. Yeah. To which they are implicitly bound by virtue of subscribing to the program, and
just by receiving this, it's like the signature you get. The lawyer says, "Yeah, you by receiving this email, you've agreed to the leather boy, EULA." I love the idea of the name. Let's start with the name and go back from that. That's not for today. Beyond the scope of today. Two other ideas. Real quick. Surprise ingredient. Well, first of all, this should be mix-ins. Like a Stone Cold Creamery, there'll be some things in the box, and we don't know what they're for. You may not know what they're for, but that's part of the mission for you. That's part of your performance of dignity, is figuring out what that's for. But then, like mix-ins and mysteries. There's always mix-ins and mysteries, because that's going to keep people on the hook. Like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. Like, what part of my body? I mean, there might be weeks I don't want to be ableist. There may be parts of the week where you just make a nice cuff for paying bills. But
yeah. Yeah. Oh, can you imagine just a bright yellow carpal tunnel cuff, like a professional bowler, but sad at the desk? But bright yellow. I mean, that adds some joy to the brace.
Yeah. Maybe put stickers on it.
Our customers are going to have so many wonderful items that they're proud of. I mean, we'll obviously have to create a third-party marketplace for the sale or distribution of their special yellow leather treasures.
Mm-hmm. Letsy, the marketplace for leather.
An entire economy of exchange based on like blueprints for different yellow leather meals.
Right.
What else? I mean, just like I guess patches of the fabric if you need. And you could probably pay for the fabric in fabric. I think that's what you were getting at too, right, Scott? Like the fabric itself will become currency. Sure.
I mean, at a certain point, everything that's moving through your house will be based on this form of exchange. It's like the Yap Islanders and their giant stone coins.
Yes.
Anything is money if you have enough of it and don't really want it.
And so it slowly overtakes their home. Slowly, but suddenly they'll look around a year into their membership as a leather person, and it'll be just their home will be entirely covered in yellow leather.
Yeah, that's one outcome.
We could also leverage previous successful business models. As we talked about, I think people like Ranks and Leveling Up, and like maybe occasionally like a Mary Kay type thing, we have awards where you get like a leather Buick or something like that. But that's why I say we bring in something like network marketing. It's, you know what I mean? Like you bring in people on
a sort of a leveled basis.
NXIVM had the sash with so they would all be yellow leather sashes, or they would maybe your leadership would be signified by wearing something besides the yellow leather? Or is that not? That wouldn't work, right?
I mean, people like maybe, again, obviously badges and stickers that you put on your leather would be very useful, but also you've got to sort of backfill your leather chain. And leather chain we'll be using that lots of different ways, because obviously it represents blockchain, which is going to be huge for this.
Oh,
but like whatever it is that comes along, like you need to like rope in your friends, right? Mm-hmm. To get people into your back chain.
right?
Yeah, I don't know how much more we can do about this, but
yeah, well, it's one of those things that we'd have to sort of see where it goes once we launched it, and what form of success will it take. But I do have one little qualm. I'm not sure if this is an issue or not. I mean, there's already when you say the leather community, that's already something that when I say that to you guys, you have a sense of what I'm talking about. And
like cowboys.
Sure, cowboys. That's the one arm of the leather community, or just happy people in one very specific late night environment. I'm just wondering if
namespace pollution. You have concerns
if we're maybe too close brand wise to that existing and very healthy community.
We wouldn't want to be seen as appropriating that culture.
We certainly wouldn't.
Right.
We certainly.
I mean, my culture's not your costume. Yeah.
Right.
That's exactly right. And of course, by virtue of the color that we've chosen, we've distinguished ourselves from it. But I just wonder if the material is sort of taken already culturally.
Maybe you start out and we only send you a little bit. I just want to figure out how to get people on the hook. I figure we go out, we come out of the box, we do a bunch of podcast ads, and we say, get 10% off, no credit card required. Use our very special offer code, I'm Leathery, or what have you. Mm-hmm. But like, how do we keep them in this lifestyle?
You will, yeah, and among your social group too, your peers, they will notice something's different. What is different about you?
What is something?
You're carrying yourself different. Was it? You just seem more confident, more poised. You look absolutely terrible. What are you wearing, by the way?
Why do you make that noise when you walk? God, you look like 52. What other kinds of things? Just maybe one way for us to kind of speedball this particular Coke spoon is: are there other things that your wife brings home that we could send to people in a box? Just to kind of, let's start small. Let it begin with me. What are other kinds of things? Because I like what you said, Scott. Like, what do you like to do? Like, you go to the guitar store, you pick up some strings. Right. Like, sometimes I'll just for me that's the hardware store. Like, I love going to the hardware store. Yeah. Buy me a flashlight, or something, or like, some ant steaks or something like that. But like, are there other kinds of things? Because I feel like part of what we're doing is, look at it this way. Have you ever seen those terrible ads for, like, you take something that used to be for ladies or people who care about children, and you say, now it's for dads. So this is a tactical diaper bag or whatever, and like, these are sunglasses for dads, or like, Wah! Or like, Weight Watchers for tough guys. Sorry, WW for tough guys.
Okay. Well, here's a dream I had recently. Swear to God, I had this dream. Maybe there's something here. If you're talking about kind of repurposing products or activities for a different audience. I had a dream where I invented and attempted to popularize something called Regis Philbin's Street Parcheesi. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it's going. But
wonderful! Just a marvelous concoction of words that came to your dumb idiot brain while you
Street Parcheesi. And the reason why it was so exciting for me to have the dream, aside from getting to see Regis again because it had been a while, was you take, what do you see people playing games on the street games? You think of what, 3-card money, you think of dice in the alley. You don't think of Sorry. You don't think of Parcheesi. You don't think of people aren't playing these outside.
The Pop-O-Matic games, that would get a lot of attention.
How great would that be?
Yeah.
And we need to be outside. People, men, I would say especially, but people in general our age aren't really playing those kind of, they're thought of as for children, those kind of children's games. We put it outside. Maybe we take the board away so that, you're just maybe rolling dice to get down the street. Mm-hmm. Street Parcheesi.
Street Parcheesi. I just love the fact that everybody gets old. God willing, everybody
Sure.
gets old. And the older you get, the more confused you are. Let's be honest. And there's all kinds of ways I feel like we could slip in a lot of value in an ongoing way through this subscription model. We could say, hey, look, you gotta go pick up your medicine anyway. Why don't you play a little bit of Regis Philbin Street Parcheesi on the way?
On
and
the way.
you get to socialize, and you got your yellow leather outfit on, so you know.
Well, people know who's up for a game of Street Parcheesi when you walk outside and somebody's got a thong on outside of their jeans that's brightly colored leather.
There's a uniform to Regis Philbin Street Parcheesi. So that's how we're tying these together.
Yeah, no shirts and
Supposing.
skins. It's yeah. honey, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go cheesing. I'm gonna go cheesing.
People
Where's my
don't know. Merlin, I think, as you said, as you get older, I've walked outside and wondered what I was doing there. If I walked outside, wondered what I was doing there, looked down, saw a 6-sided die in my hand, and a lot of people waiting for me to roll, I would know what I'm doing and be like, oh, we're on the way to the grocery store, one roll of the dice at a time.
Okay, I see.
It gives you a kind of a number, like back to those Tibetan pilgrims who kind of take one step, worship, take one step. This is taking, 1 to 6 steps.
Yes.
And sort of incrementally proceeding to whatever your destination
It could be team building exercises. It could be like a bachelor party. You know what I mean? Something like that. There's all kinds of ways we could get groups of men in leather to come, people from the community even. And, who knows? We might end up attracting a lot of people from the extant community just because all of the leather.
And I'd love to not necessarily even target ourselves towards men. I mean, I personally know
also boys. Okay.
Sure.
If you want to go to into the beer hall, first you're going to need to win this round of Mealborns, and like something like that. I don't know. We'd have to contact the Philbin estate, I guess. But if you and John, Scott, if I could just say, if you have any more dreams like that, could you capture them? Because
it felt great. I just love. Maybe it was inspired by that. That just infuriating. Have you seen the Bob Ross Mountain Dew commercial?
No.
Oh, it's so depressing. It's Bob Ross, and he's been holographically appropriated to say good things. Have you seen it, Adam?
Yeah, I saw it. It didn't register, but they dug him up and made him advertise Mountain Dew. And you just have to wonder for this one, okay, Mountain Dew was how we were going to spoil the whole Bob Ross legacy. That's how we were going to do it. Okay, good to know. We did it.
Yeah,
great.
That was kind of. I mean, which son-in-law signed the document that allowed? which obvious
I just imagine some
fan
kind of Don Jr. character. Uncle Bob would have loved this.
Well, I mean, I think in our case, it's a much easier sell because you can see Regis Philbin saying Street Parcheesi so easy.
I can hear it right now.
Right?
Street Parcheesi!
I'm out of control. That's all I remember.
In every cluster of Parcheesi people on the sidewalk, one of them plays the Regis character, I imagine, sort of like
like the banker in Monopoly.
Like the banker, the millionaire broker in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So you're the Regis, which is, I guess, kind of the usher. You're looking out for the rest of the group, maybe making sure they don't get run over by cars.
Okay, it's sort of like being like a hall monitor crossed with an MC.
Yeah.
Get out of the road. Yeah. Huh.
This has been You Look Nice Today.
Kenneth on a King.
Thank you.